So, in the last video, we learned that dinosaurs can't drive. There was a lot of hammering. There was a lot of sanding. We had snacks. And then, as Jake says, we ended on a cliffhanger.
So if you thought number 1 was good, get ready for a great number 2.
So, I printed these. The idea is that they would build a little frame with some old tent poles that I have, and that would make the kind of sheltery area for the thing. And then I would drape a cloth tarp around it and then clamp the fan, the vent, in the backside, and it would be just like one of those little hobby model things you get, except bigger. Now, it turns out I don't have enough tent poles to do the structure I wanted to. I'm still going to use these someday. I think maybe I'm going to revisit this for a smaller one for other dumb stuff. But it turns out we're not going to use it for this project. Instead, I got an actual tent. Now, it's from Wagner. And it's supposed to be to keep dust and stuff off of things that you're painting. My first thought was, ooh, I could put the vent in one end. I could Velcro or duct tape another filter at the other end, and I would have a little baby cross-draft booth. How cool would that be? But then, when it came, I realized that the door on the whole thing is a screen. So I would have to seal that up in order to do what I wanted. But it will still do what I originally wanted, which is kind of a 3-sided spray into shelter. And it'll pull away overspray and help keep a lot of stuff out of the paint. Woohoo! So this is what's going to be our power. It's a 4-inch duct fan. It's made for if you got a heating vent somewhere in your house that doesn't get enough air, you put this in line to kind of turbocharge it a little bit. And it even came with a little speed control. This whole thing was like $25, $30. You know, we got some 4-inch hose ducting. Came with some hose clamps. Some nifty little gloves. And some duct tape. Okay, so I got this little vent box thing. And it's, I don't know, however big a vent box is. And it goes back. It connects to a 4-inch duct hose. So on the front of this, we'll have to make a little thing. It'll be a box. All right, so the air can spread out. And then it'll sit on a base. And then on the front of that box, it'll have a piece of filter element across the front. And that'll go down over it. And then maybe around the side. I think the side's going to stick out a little bit. So I can clip the tarp to it or attach it to things easily. I think. Let's go with that. And trying to remember what I'm doing. Oh yeah. this is what we ended up with. Here's the front, there's the back, and that's with the filter on the front. Well, there's airflow. I wish I had something I could watch airflow with. Oh, look at that. That is fantastic. And I bought a cheap spray gun. You know it's good because it says professional right on the box. You may notice we're using Colorite paint. I don't want to talk bad about them, but my experience with Colorite has not been a positive one. I have it because years ago when I did the new gas tank on it, I wanted to match the original color, and they advertised that they do. Long story longer, the color did not match. We ended up having to paint the entire bike. But I bought this overpriced paint, and like I said, I didn't have a great experience with the company. Their customer service wasn't great. I hope if you use Colorite, I hope you have a great experience with them. I hope they're wonderful. I hope they're everything you ever needed. There's also a base color, a white, that they told us we had to use with the color because that's what the factory used. Of course, we know that wasn't right. So this is what we're doing. All right, we're starting with white. This is 1:1. All right. Anyone working in small spaces, small garage, a shed, anything, the struggle is real. A couple last minute issues. Trying to wear a mask. You know it's good because it says professional, but all the little straps on it won't stay attached. I gotta find a stapler or something. Also, I got that thing way too high inside the tent. I can't get up above it good with the spray gun. I gotta let it set up 10-15 minutes before I even try to move it. And I gotta reposition it before we move forward. Alright. Here's my new setup. I lowered it a little bit. Hopefully we'll be good. I got my access on. That's a good thing. Well, I did a second coat of the sealer or the base, whatever you want to call it, and then I cleaned the gun. Now we're just sitting and waiting. I kind of feel like maybe I should have watched a video or something on this before I started. What'll be great is I'll finish this, then I'll go find a video. I'm sure there's like the paint guys or something on YouTube, and what I'm hoping for is that I watch it and I find out I did something right. It's probably not going to be that way. Fender. Okay, we got first coat of color on. I didn't go crazy all over the fender. I just wanted to get the color where it needed to be. We're still iffy on if we have enough of the red. The next coat, I'll go a little farther back, and then if we have enough, I'll go a little farther past that. Worst case, I won't be able to completely paint the entire fender, and near the back where it's already red, we'll just re-clear that and clear the whole thing and then sand and buff. Sanding and buffing, I'm going to tell you right now, probably not going to happen this episode because even the instructions on the website even say you got to wait like 4 days. But I would wait even longer. I would wait a week and a half minimum, especially since it's not super warm out. It's kind of cool here now. I got a little heater in that tent, just in case I want to start a fire. I'm probably going to have to wait before I can buff this out. But, we'll get it back on the bike and maybe go for a ride and see how it looks out in the sun. Either way, that's where we're at right now. Coat number 1. Looks like the filter is filtering. Second verse, same as the first. A little bit wetter and a little bit worse. So after the final coat of color, they say wait 55 to 60 minutes roughly before we do clear. For the clear, we're using Finish 1. I don't know if it's any good. I've never used it. I don't know automotive clear coats. Got this online. It's by Acme, a name you can trust. This is a 4-to-1 mixing ratio. The reviews were good. I'm trying it. It wasn't the cheapest, but it wasn't the most expensive either. It came with the hardener. So I can tell you right now, the air movement in the filter isn't quite enough to keep up with the clear. There's a lot finer of a mist, I guess. I don't know. After I'm done spraying, you can kind of see it settle in the air a little bit more. And then when I came out of the tent, you can kind of see it just sit there for a second. It's not getting on anything.
It's not like it's making a cloud, but got to keep that in mind for future projects. Might need to upsize.
Ha ha! I did a thing! I got a lot of cleaning up to do. Today was a lot of fun. It was an adventure. It really was. But I gotta say, you know, a project with this much it's a lot for a small garage. It really is. It's got to sit now and it's got to cure. I would love to leave it with the space heater in that little tent overnight because it's kind of chilly. But I got to pull stuff in. I can't leave that tent up. I don't want to leave that space heater in a tent overnight. I might leave it out here in the middle of the garage for a little bit. Try to keep this thing warm. So a few things. The filter, you know what? I'm going to call the filter a win. It did a great job. I think in the future I might get a second fan or a bigger fan, maybe a larger filter area, just to get a few more CFMs moving through the thing. It did great. I'm really happy with it. Might have to revisit that in the future, make some kind of a permanent installation. The little Wagner tent, there was a lot of dust in it. Anyway, I don't know if I needed that. I think I could have just tarped the whole garage with some painter's plastic and sprayed it and dealt with that. It would have been easier.
It's really awkward to set up a tent in the garage, by the way.
I think when Wagner decided to make tents, I'm sure they farmed it out to a tent company, but they probably had someone who tried to micromanage the project and tell the tent people how to make tents. Because there's a few things on it you're just like, why would they do this? Why is it this way? I have camping tents. I got a lot of camping tents. And you're just like, why on a few things? But you know what? Went for it. As far as the paint itself, parts of it came out beautiful. I feel like I'm capable of doing a good job. There were some other issues that I think we're gonna see if they sand out. It's not perfect though, but let's be honest, we weren't expecting it to be perfect on our first time out here. I think it's still gonna turn out good. Just gonna take a little bit more work. Probably not gonna be in this episode because it's gotta sit like a week before I can wet sand and buff it and see if it's all pretty. I will be sure to let you know. If you got any questions or comments about any of the dumb stuff I'm doing, let me know. Please, if you get a chance, like, subscribe, all that. It does help build the channel, but only if you want to. Only if you really want to. Well, if you kind of want to, then I'm pushing you to do that. So, you know. So I printed these. Oops.